Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome in. It's a Wednesday on the Roundtable. Chip Walters here from Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates, and the Blue Raider Network. Glad to have you with us. And today we are, number one, trying to avoid the 103-degree temperature that is scheduled or forecasted in Nashville. They say it's going to be 103 in Nashville. So once you get outside of Davidson County, it should cool off a little bit, but Brian, with Rutherford weather, what are you in your crystal ball? What are you seeing today and tomorrow?
101.5 here.
Oh, 101.5.
Yeah,
okay.
No, it's going to be hot. I don't know that it makes that big of a difference between 101 and 103. It's just hot.
Okay. The real thing is, what do you have from about 3 o'clock on Saturday? That's what we need you to check that out, because home football on Saturday, Middle Tennessee opening up, the new Derek Mason era getting underway, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to spend the first half of this hour talking about all the things like parking and ticketing and what's going on and things like that. And then Sam Doughton is here, and Sam and Jeff Murphy will join us at 9:30. And we'll do a little do-si-do. Jeff will come in. Chelsea Floyd will move out. And Sam and Jeff and I will be talking more of the football side of things. So what are you seeing on Saturday afternoon?
50-50 shot at showers and 95 showers and storms. So it's going to be hot, humid, and pop-up storms. So yeah, but not over Floyd Stadium.
There you go.
Put a little dome over there.
Well, I remember back in the day, John Stanford used to have – he would say, if when you're coming in from the west, out on Highway 96, out there near the castle,
Mm-hmm.
he called that the Stanford Wall. He goes, we're not going to have a rain out in baseball. He goes, the Stanford Wall is going to knock it around. And most of the time he was right. It would get about right there, and a storm would split up or go the other way.
It would storm in Smyrna, and everything would be okay here.
So Smyrna and Eagleville would get it, and we'd be okay and play the baseball game. But all right, we are talking about this home opener this weekend and try to answer a lot of questions. First of all, Chelsea Floyd, Associate AD for Marketing, and Sam Doughton, who joins us a good bit. He is the staff writer for GoBlueRaiders.com and has probably seen more practices than anyone other than the coaching staff this year. And so we'll get some of the inside dope on the team as we move along. But Chelsea, this is a very busy week, and I think probably the best piece of information we can give folks is plan early, whether that's get your tickets, whether that's parking, any of that. If you do something, if you kind of handle some of that about 24 hours ahead of time, you could save yourself a little bit of indigestion on Saturday.
Absolutely. My motto is always plan early. I think we set our fans up where they can do almost everything except for show up to the game. And if you are prepared with knowing where you want to park, having your tickets ready, being ready to tailgate, it should be a seamless day.
It should be. And kickoff is at 6 o'clock, but everything is going to get started much earlier than that on campus, and like the tailgate areas will open up. I mean,
8 a.m., 7 a.m.
Yeah, whenever you really
you want to wake up and come on.
Exactly, and you can get over there. But all the action really gets started afternoon around 2:30, something like that, 3.5 hours prior to kickoff.
Yeah, so we're kind of labeling it Party in the Grove, and that is the official pre-game kickoff event, and that will start about 3 hours before kick. We'll have an opening act, and then of course Raider Walk.
Okay, and then a headliner right after Raider Walk, right?
Yes.
And the first three headliners for the first three home games were announced yesterday. And what I think is really cool is they all have middle ties.
They're all alums.
They're all alums. And Beverly Keel, over the dean of the College of Media and Entertainment, she has done a good job of starting to pull these together, as she has connections like you wouldn't believe. Like Lionel Richie is in her.
I know.
Is in her contacts.
She was like, "I'll just text them," and I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah, but hip hop artist, legendary Nedge. His name is Nick Ederson. He graduated in May. And the other thing I like is there's a different flavor every week. I mean, it's going to be a little hip hop flavor.
Exactly.
The first week you're going to have Hunter Girl for
country
for the Western game, and then for Duke you've got the Cadillac 3, which that's an established group that's out there, and they're MTSU alums as well.
Yeah, one of their members is MTSU alum, and I had no idea. But I'm always here to drop secrets too. The good thing about having MTSU alums that want to headline is that they want to do all they can do to give back to this university. And so, I mean, I guess I can drop a little secret because you're listening and watching.
Yep.
But legendary Nedge is actually doing a rehearsal with our Band of Blue on Friday.
Oh, really?
He actually wrote a song for a hype song between third and fourth quarter to get our fans ready for fourth quarter on Saturday.
Okay, so that means I need to get over there and watch a little band practice. But we've that's something I'll put in my notes for the broadcast on Saturday. That we'll have a little extra special hype song. And Sam, are all three of these in your playlist? They
are now. I need to go on Spotify and add them to my like songs list. That's sort of the way I take music, because I throw all 2,000 some odd songs I've liked and listened to them. So have to add all three of them in there. One thing to add on the band from our office in Athletic Communications is the band's going to have a hype intro video before they take the field, before the game starts. For right after lineup introduction, so that's another little thing for fans to look forward to.
Yes, I got to see that yesterday, and it's really good. I'm really excited about it.
But part of the new and improved, presentation that we're going to be able to do with the new video board that's been installed over the summer, which we're all very, very excited about, and I'm excited to see really get in action this fall.
Yeah, it's good. It's very. And Nathan Wallach chastised me one day because I said, "Oh, it's high def." Boy, he goes, "Well, not technically, no, but to your eye, that's what it looks like. It's all about pixels and all kinds of stuff like that." But one thing that Sam, I think you may know about this as well, is the fan experience committee that was put together to help elevate. People always have ideas, all of that. So there was a committee of fans put together and said, "Hey, bring your ideas, bring your complaints, bring your compliments as well." So that committee's been pretty active, and it's my understanding Coach Mason's been involved in all those meetings. Is that what you understand too?
So that's my committee,
Okay.
and they've implemented a lot of things that you've seen even last year. It was because of this fan committee and the ideas they brought forth. Coach Mason did drop by our last meeting to welcome them and thank them for all of their input and just tell them that he appreciated them, and that I think that meant a lot.
That's good. And you've seen him everywhere, Sam, and I didn't get a chance to really talk to him about it on Monday, but he came in and obviously was coached up very well on things that were thought needed to be done within the program as far as community outreach, things like that, and just being visible. And he's been that as much as possible. But it had to be almost a relief for him once the season and football camp got here, because at the end of the day, he's a football coach, and that's where they feel most comfortable is out in the stadium and out on the practice field.
There's no question, Chip. I mean, Coach Mason coming in, from the SEC world that he's been in for the better part of the last decade. There's no question he's sort of in that CEO coach mold where he wants his hands on everything that touches his program, whether it's, videos going out, on the team's social media accounts, to, what recruiting graphics are they sending, high school recruits that they're interested in, to things like the game day experience and this pregame experience that we've come up with the Party in the Grove this year. I know he's had input in every step of that as it's been implemented. But there's no question that he's hired because he's a football coach, and that's the part of the job that I think he loves the most. And it's been really fun for me to see that passion come out on the practice field this year in a way that maybe I didn't get to see over the summer, where he was maybe focused on some other things that needed to get done before the season got started.
And it doesn't surprise me at all because that he has been involved in the Party in the Grove, because I think if I remember correctly, because I mean, we learned a lot about Derek when he first got here, and I think one of the things we learned about is that in his house for Christmas he got from his family a DJ set up. So he likes to play around, and he's really media conscious, very social media conscious. Just from everything from, making sure that, he understands, like if you're going to shoot a video, okay, where's the light coming from and what's the background looking like? So he's very conscious of all that and wants it to be first class all the way.
Yeah, I'll say this was a first for me, which was great. This summer, we met every other week about just marketing. Like, we met just about marketing. He walked in a room and he sat down, and we didn't talk football, but it was, hey, what are we doing in marketing? And here's some ideas that I've seen or things that I think you should implement. And I think that was the most fresh air, is that this coach cares. This coach cares about what the fan experience is, and he wanted to know what I needed from him. And so I think that's been a big change.
Yeah, and he I still think about the first week he was here. How many hands did he shake in the Christmas parade? The very first, that first Saturday that he was here, and that kind of set the tone for what was to come throughout the spring, right, Sam?
No question. He was somebody that knew that he needed to, be a part of the Murfreesboro community, and he needed to learn from them as well, learn what they needed from the Middle Tennessee football program, what did they need to see, and you sort of saw that a lot with some of the community service work the team did throughout the spring, throughout the summer. I believe, just before camp, it was, something like 700, team hours that the team spent, in the Middle Tennessee community, volunteering at different civic organizations, and, particularly Big Brothers Big Sisters is a group that they've worked with extensively. It's a group that Derek Mason is very close to, something that he grew up with in the Phoenix area, going to. I believe his uncle was actually involved in the Boys and Girls Club running it when he was a kid. And we have some guys on the team that grew up in the Boys and Girls Club of Rutherford County that are now getting a chance to mentor those kids in the club. So pretty cool stuff going on, sort of behind the scenes.
Well, they showed up out and did park cars at the Boys and Girls Club dinner the night Jeff Foxworthy was there.
That's right. Even little things like that.
And did the pop up at the
at the farmers market.
Farmers market, and they've been very accessible, and that's all part of it. When folks come to the stadium on Saturday and come to campus on Saturday, a lot of times if the university and the campus is kind of its own little world within the bigger community of Murfreesboro and Rutherford County, and if you're not over there all the time, sometimes people think, okay, well, if I'm going to the stadium, the only place I can park is Greenland Drive. Let me tell you, folks, if you don't have a parking pass, avoid Greenland Drive. There are multitudes of other places to go. Don't be scared to get to the interior of campus. Other places around the perimeter along Middle Tennessee Boulevard. There's a great little secret lot over behind the Ellington building right there that's within the shadows of the press box, literally, that people don't know about. It's on either Crestline or Division, whichever street goes parallel with Middle Tennessee Boulevard. And then there's a big lot right there at the corner of Crestline and Division, 1 block from the front door of Murphy Center. And that holds a lot of folks. So those are short walks to the stadium, and maybe even shorter than some of the lots that have donor parking.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing about our campus is we're very pedestrian friendly. So, just think externally a little bit that there's
flat.
parking, and it's flat. So it's great for walking, but the parking lots there's plentiful. I mean, we don't charge except for the Greenland lot. But yeah, don't be afraid to get out a little bit more. I say my favorite hidden secret is livestock lot, which is just pass Greenland and go to livestock lot, and they have free shuttles. We have shuttles running, so park and hop a shuttle. Yeah, the Tennessee Livestock Center there on Greenland Drive, right across from Reeves Rogers Elementary, free parking there, and you got the shuttle, or if you want to take the shortcut walk right across right between the practice field and the baseball outfield, there's that little area right there that you can go through, and it's a good spot to do all that. We're going to take a break and be back with more. If you've got questions about, ingress, egress, tickets, all of that, Chelsea's going to be here for another 10 minutes. Jeff Murphy's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Sam's going to be here for the full hour, and we hope that you're here for the full hour. It's the Wednesday Roundtable on WGNS.
Support First Shot at Autumn at the Alley. It will be held at Saddle Woods Farm on Franklin Road in Murfreesboro on Wednesday, September 25th from 6 until 9 p.m. It supports First Shot STEM Academy and Academic All-Stars initiatives. The night is a fantastic event with unique tastings from various spirit brands and great wines and food from the Alley on Main. Top the night off with a fabulous silent auction. Go to firstshottn.org for more information and see you at Autumn at the Alley September 25th.
Residents enjoy Adams Place.
At Adams Place, they have different things, entertainments, and things that you can get out and keep your mind going.
We're talking with Helen Alexander.
And that's what I like about Adams Place. I think although the food, I am very blessed to be here at Adams Place.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111. Adams Place.
Fellas, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Get checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results with testosterone therapy, or TRT. And for established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored at-home TRT with advanced personalized plans that include both lab testing and self-inject medication. Low T Center makes it easy, shipping directly to your door. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
I'm really excited to announce that Lisa, Trevor, and I just got back from market. We were in Las Vegas picking out all new things to show you guys. Brand new stock of gold earrings, fashion pieces. I mean, I can't even name everything that we saw that we cannot wait to show you guys. So come visit us at Bell Jewelers and see all the new pieces that we picked out for you. Bell Jewelers, 821 Northwest Broad Street, across from Toots.
Hi, this is Bob Cornell, pastor of Covenant Church right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The answer that you've been looking for is found in Jesus and what he accomplished at the cross. You see, Jesus changes lives from the inside out. We would love for you to join us at Covenant Church, located at 1124 Brinkley Ave right here in Murfreesboro. We have services Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. You can learn more about us at our Cornell Ministries YouTube channel. We want you to grow in Christ at Covenant Church.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
I've got pets. AmeriCare Services Incorporated, family-owned and operated. For residential and commercial customers, we offer a full range of services. Our services include one-time, monthly, and quarterly pest control, termite control, moisture and fungus control, automatic foundation vents, and more. Licensed, insured, and bonded for your protection. 893-7111.
Call the best of the best to get rid of your pest.
AmeriCare Services Incorporated.
WGNS encourages you to patronize our local family businesses. Don't forget Hummingbird Day is over at the Wilderness Station. It's not this Saturday, but the next one, Saturday, August 31st. It starts at 7:30 that morning. That's Saturday, August 31st at Barfield Crescent Park. People have been asking about the Parkinson Support Group. They meet on the first and third Friday of each month, 10 o'clock in the morning, at the St. Clair Street Senior Center. That's the first and third Friday of each month. Tickets are going quickly for Live in the Borough. This is the great talent show that Greenhouse Ministries offers each year. And this year it's at MTSU, right there in the Student Union Ballroom. It'll be Tuesday, September the 10th, 6 o'clock in the evening at MTSU. Dinner and live entertainment. The tickets are on sale on their website, greenhousemin.org. And that's September 10th. Oh yes, Arsenic and Old Lace wraps up this weekend at the Center for the Arts in Uptown Murfreesboro. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see sunny skies here this afternoon, a high around 101. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 73. Thursday, a slight chance for storms late. Blend of clouds and sunshine develops, a high of 100. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 74.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Seriously looking at solar power generation? MTE offers a free consultation with an energy expert and has an entire library of educational resources. To learn more, visit mte.com/prosolar.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
All right, today we're talking about the Blue Raider home football opener this week against Tennessee Tech. The Totem Bowl is revisited as Middle and Tennessee Tech will play 6 o'clock on Saturday night. Jeff Murphy's going to be joining Sam and I here at the bottom of the hour. But here for the next 5 minutes, we're going to get Chelsea Floyd to give us all the info on like getting tickets right now. It's never been easier to get tickets. Just go BlueRaiders.com/tickets. If you're, I know folks who are on my mailing list. I sent you out a QR code that has a nice, some really good seats and at a nice price. So, but still $20 ticket. But there's opportunities to get great seats for this weekend.
Yeah, go BlueRaiders.com/tickets, and it's the MT versus Tennessee Tech. You'll see the logo. One thing with us is it is very easy. If you have the Blue Raiders app, if you have our mobile app, there's a spot that says tickets, and you click it right there. You can manage your own tickets. You can buy tickets. You can transfer tickets. The biggest thing that we are just educating our fans for Saturday is those phones, Google and Apple, have wallets. They have those little mobile wallets. Go ahead and put your tickets in there because it doesn't use Wi-Fi. And we all know that Wi-Fi is not the best. But if it's already in there, when you walk up to the gate, it's a tap and go.
I think that's the best piece of advice that there is right now is go ahead and move it over to your wallet. Any tickets, if you're going to make any transfers, do it before you get to the stadium, because any place you have that has lots of people around and everybody's trying to use Wi-Fi, nobody has good Wi-Fi at that point. So, and that's something that is a work in progress, Wi-Fi around the stadium and in Murphy Center. But once, so again, do all that early. We've talked about parking. We've talked about the pregame entertainment. The timeline on things, 3:45 will be Raider Walk.
Yes, 3:45, 4 o'clock. Yep.
Is that route any different this year?
Route is no different. They're still going to walk straight through there. We might have implemented the touch the horseshoe for some good luck.
There you go.
Just trying to bring that some life. But the route will be the same.
Blue Horseshoe likes Anacott Steel.
Yes.
If anybody gets that movie reference, so go ahead.
A couple other things that fans should know that are changes for this year is we are a strict clear bag facility now. So make sure you have your clear bags. We gave out 500 at Fan Day last Saturday, but textbook brokers, Raider
It didn't take long to do that.
No, people were waiting for them. But any place, you can get them on Amazon, just a clear bag, a Ziploc bag, put your stuff in there. And a new thing that is not going to affect lines, but we do have a weapon detection now, but you're just going to walk straight through it. So no carrying your weapons in. If you got pocket knives, just leave them in the car. This machine will catch them, but it doesn't mess up the ease of the flow. It just walks straight through and keep on going.
Anything new on concessions once you're in the stadium?
Concessions, nothing new. We still will have our food trucks. We still have the normal concession areas. We have more options that are just like if you need a drink. If you just want some popcorn, we're going to have little pop-ups. A new thing that is being released this morning should be in your email. If you are a BRAA member. We now have a combo just for BRAA members. So it's a discounted hot dog, popcorn, and a drink for $11.
So there's again, membership has its privileges, and of course there's going to be all kinds of new content on the brand new video board. So that's going to be very immersive, very interactive, and I can tell people I've been up there getting ready for the season with the new video board on one end of the stadium and the new Student Athlete Performance Center on the other. The stadium has a different feel to it this year.
It does. We were out there Monday night doing rehearsals, and it just felt different. Like, I was like, it's the same stadium, but it feels different. Last couple things that will look different inside the stadium is right under the video board. I mean, you're not going to be able to miss it, but we're going to have a house band now that is there, stationed there, and they'll perform a couple of times throughout the game. The first game is Stones River Revival. One of the members is an alum, and we're actually going to have a student DJ now. It's just all kinds of new things inside.
Beer garden is back.
Yes, beer garden's back. And like Sam said,
it's very popular.
Very, very popular. Make sure, as Sam said, that you're in the stands with 20 minutes before kick now with the Band of Blue hype video. But also our team has a new entranceway. So we played with it, and it's huge. That's all I can say.
Okay, so that's something else to look forward to. And again, get in the stadium early. 2:30, the party in the Grove starts. 3:45 or right around there. You've got Raider Walk. The headliner, as far as music in the Grove, is going to kick off right after Raider Walk, and then at 45 minutes prior to kickoff at 5:15. The Follow Me to Floyd parade out of the Grove will head to the stadium, right?
Yeah, which is what our student organizations are leading that.
Okay.
They're leading that charge. So different organizations have picked different games that they're going to lead the Follow Me to Floyd, which is our initiative for our students to go inside the gate. But don't be weary. It is the Grove. We're trying to be more to our students, but it's still a family area out there. There's food trucks for people that don't want to set up a tailgate. There's the live music, like we said, but there's also the bounce houses still, the license plates, the photo booths, all that stuff, face painting will all still be out in the Grove.
All right. If you got questions, if you just go to GoBlueRaiders.com, the splash page comes up. And just scroll down. Or click on it.
Click on it, yeah.
Click on it, and all the information is there that you need about tickets, parking, all of that stuff, timeline of what's going on. So, and then we're going to get into the stadium and have the game, and Jeff and Sam and I are going to talk about what the product on the field is going to look like. So, thanks so much.
Yes, I'll see everyone
Appreciate
Saturday.
It. Well, now everybody that's watching on YouTube, watch Chelsea
watch
get up.
me exit.
And Jeff will come in.
Bye, Chelsea.
And so, Sam, to me, obviously it comes down to what is the product on the field going to be, and I think it's gonna have a different feel and a different look to it. Jeff Murphy, former Blue Raider quarterback, former Blue Raider Network analyst, and a founding member of the group of 5 guys, joined us. And Jeffro, how are you today?
I'm fantastic, man. Excited. We got kickoff Saturday.
I
know. So it's the best time of year.
And slinging sandwiches today down at Domenico's?
Absolutely. I'm doing that every day of my life.
Best spot in town for sandwiches, folks. If you haven't been there, on the square. Jeff and his family have a great family-owned business there. But you were someone who played for Coach Stock and all, but you have taken a leadership role among football alums in saying, hey, change happens. Our coach is now, our new coach is our coach now, and love our old coach, but our new coach is here now. Let's support him.
Yeah, I mean,
is that the message?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the message. I'm a Stock guy, and I love that man, and I will love him for the rest of my life. But they made the decision to move on, and excited about what Coach Mason has done so far. Can't wait to see the product on the field this weekend. But I think everyone's just got to be on the same page. We're a Blue Raider community, and we got to support whoever the coach is, and most importantly, the players. It matters the most to the players that, when they walk out of the tunnel or run out of the tunnel, there's more than 3,000 or 4,000 people in the stands.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. Whether you hate the coach, whether you hate somebody in the administration, whatever it is, it makes a difference to the players, and it affects on the field performance because, with our podcast, we travel around the country and go to different group of 5 venues, teams that are on, our level, so to speak, and When you go to App State, when you go to Troy, when you go to, all these schools, their home field advantage makes a difference. Offenses can't communicate, neither can defenses. It affects the on-field product. So when people, want to get on social media and complain this and that, it's like, well, first and foremost, are you going to the game?
Yeah.
If your answer is no, then you really don't have a dog. Like, you really can't say anything.
Yeah.
So best thing you can do is go to the game and support this
the
new
kids,
coaching
because
staff
if you
and
don't,
support the kids.
eventually, when you get right down to it, if you're not there and you're hurting the kids, and this they've got a great group of kids, and we're learning all of them. And Sam, like I said, you've seen more practices than anyone, and from what I've seen, the thing that was most impressive to me, and I go back to the spring, is as few opportunities as they get their hands on them now in the spring. They came out and played a spring game that there wasn't a lot of mistakes and stuff going on. They were organized, and I think that's continued here in fall camp. But make no mistake about it, the offense is going to have a different look about it. The defense is going to have a different look about it.
I mean, no question, Chip. You talk to, Bodie Reeder, who's our new offensive coordinator, and Brian Stewart, our new defensive coordinator. They talk about playing to their current group guys' strengths. They're going to do stuff that their current team can do, whether that's what they want their team overall to do, sort of long term, in this, what they want Middle Tennessee football to look like under Derek Mason. But they've been able to do some new things with this group right now that I think are really interesting, really exciting. On the offensive side, you're going to see a lot more tight ends involved than you've probably seen middle play.
Maybe more than one per play.
Yes, I would expect you might see two end, maybe more often you might see one end sometimes, depending on how the matchup is, how much they want to run the ball this year. And they have a really talented group of guys that have a really diverse skill set. They got some guys that are really good pass catchers, some guys really strong blockers, some guys who can do both really well. And I think you're going to see, as many as 6 guys in that room play on a given weekend. So that's exciting for me, just to see how they're going to use that group. Joe Gans, former quarterback in Nebraska, is their tight end coach. Has done some really good stuff with that room, and I think that fans are going to like.
Yeah, Calvin Lowry, former Titan running back, is the running backs coach, and there could be times when you see 2 running backs and 2 tight ends in there in power situations. But Jeff, you as a former quarterback, and I've said this before, I think one of the biggest gifts that Derek Mason was given was that Nick Vattiato chose to stay here. And if you've not seen Nick Vattiato play, if you've not been around him, this is one very, very special person and a very, very special quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you look at what he did over the last couple of years, last year specifically, over 3,000 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. But that was without essentially a running game. So my biggest thing is, you talk about the multiple tight ends, the different formations, the pre-snap shifts. All of that is going to assist in the run game because it makes defenses have to move, have to change, their calls mid-play right before the snap. So if we can get, Frank Pizon and Creedle and these guys running the ball effectively, we don't have to have a 1,000-yard back, but have a run game that a defense has to at least consider. Now you get favorable matchups on the outside where you can get one-on-ones and go up top. And, you got Amari Kelly and these other guys that transferred in. We're longer on the outside, taller than we've been. So that's where those one-on-one matchups will really pay dividends. But having Vattiato back, I think, was huge as far as helping build a culture at middle. Because when you have a new coaching staff come in, like you're trying to build a whole entire new, expectation and culture. And when you have 59 or whatever new players on this roster, like it is huge to have veteran leadership, especially at the quarterback position. So excited to see what it's all going to look like.
Yeah, and one of the new things in the stands, you really won't. This won't have much effect on you, but the new coach to player communication, Nick will have a speaker in his helmet, and Bodie Reeder will be able to talk to him up until 15 seconds left on the play clock. So, how do you think that is? How do you see that playing out this year in college football? This is the first year to have what virtually the NFL has had for several years now.
Yeah, I think it's huge, and I think it's what needed to happen. Interested to see. We already saw it this past weekend with. I mean, you got guys that are like covering their ears, and I don't know if the technology is probably not quite as good as the NFL stuff, but interested to see how much you have issues with it going out. But just being able to have your offensive coordinator in your ear, it's absolutely huge. I mean, you're talking about getting the play in quicker. You're not having to analyze signals. You can get it and go and really move even faster. And I know they're going to want to do tempo this year. It's just a huge part of the style of offense that we run. So I think it's going to be a big time improvement.
What about on defense? Because who they break them up? I think they can have 8 people that have the communication, and it's up to the schools on how they want to break that up. It could be 4 offense, 4 defense, but you can never have more than 1 on the field at any given time. Who will have it on defense? And by the way, folks, if you're in the stands with your binoculars, look for a green dot on the helmet, and that's who has a speaker in their helmet.
The defensive starter that's going to have it's Brendan Harris, who's the safety that transferred in from Wake Forest.
In his 7th year.
7th year, one of how many 7-year guys are there in college football?
There are 34 in all of college football, and Middle has 2 of them.
That's right. That's right. But Brendan's somebody the coaching staff trusts a lot, and he plays safety. And I talked to Coach Stewart about why he picked the safety, because traditionally you think the middle linebacker is usually the guy who gets that helmet usually in the NFL. And Stewart says that in college game you're in nickel and dime so much, but those linebackers can shift out depending on sort of the situation that a guy's skill set has. But the safety's going to be on the field every single play, and so having a guy like Brendan that has so much experience that can see things that Coach Stewart wants to alert him to, they think it's going to be really good communication. And then they figured out sort of how quickly Coach Stewart has to relay that information for Brendan to be able to get it to his guys on the field. So I think you're going to be excited with it. They're sort of running a bit of a hybrid system this year overall as a defense. It's kind of a 4-3, it's kind of a 3-4, but they're once again they're going to use they're going to do what these guys can play the best. If they have an edge rusher, that's an edge rusher. That's what they're going to do. If it's an edge rusher that can drop a little bit, you might see them do some unusual things pressure wise to get some confuse the quarterback, confuse opposing offenses. But I think it's going to be really dynamic, really exciting to see, and I've really enjoyed watching them grow as units over camp. There's a lot of young guys that have gotten chances in the linebacker room in particular that I think folks are going to be excited to see come Saturday.
Jeff, obviously keeping a quarterback upright and being able to block in the run game is a huge deal. So they've had to retool and rebuild an offensive line, and they've gone out and found guys. And just looking at the 2 deep, you have in the 5 positions in the offensive line, you have one guy who is 6'1". Outside of that, the shortest offensive lineman is 6'3", and the lightest offensive lineman is 299 pounds. Outside of that, they're all 3 bills plus.
Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed when we got the broadcast for Media Day a couple weeks ago is we look bigger on both sides of the ball
and longer,
which is what you need. It doesn't always equate to being a better player, but it's a good starting point to jump off from. And it's going to be interesting to see. I think the biggest question marks for me is our offense and defensive line. You're having so many new faces on there, and until we see them on the field, it's kind of hard to judge. But those are your 2 also most important groups on the field.
Yeah.
They start up front. That's why they always say it. And if we can't block anybody or get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, it poses for long days.
Yep, it all starts on Saturday at 6 o'clock as the Blue Raiders host the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. We'll take a timeout and back to head down the home stretch with Jeff Murphy and Sam Doughton here on the Wednesday Roundtable on WGNS.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Endurance has paid hundreds of millions in claims. Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-690-0294. That's 800-690-0294. 800-690-0294.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
Rutherford County is one of the fastest growing communities in Tennessee. This is Mike Klassen, the general manager at Middle Point Landfill. As a Class 1 landfill, Middle Point accepts non-hazardous municipal solid waste, approved special waste, and commercial waste. We have served this region for 2 decades, providing free disposal to all Rutherford County residents and low-cost disposal to Rutherford County businesses. Learn more at middlepointlandfill.com. For public services, we are sustainability in action.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable. Chip Walters here, along with Jeff Murphy and also Sam Doughton of GoBlueRaiders.com. And Sam, as you've seen this come together, who has impressed you? And because there's so many new names out there. One that came out of the spring was I can't wait to see Omari Kelly in a real game. We talked about Vadiato being a gift as a returner. As a returnee, I would say the same thing goes for Holden Willis, that is a great gift for the offense, as well as having Frank Peasant and Flip Cradle back.
No question. I think a younger guy that is going to be back, but maybe fans haven't seen a lot of yet, that I expect will play a big role, is another running back, Jaquale Middlebrook, who in particular, Chip, you and I know he had a big scrimmage, in fall camp, really productive day in that setting. And he's somebody that if he's got the hot hand, they're going to lean on a lot, and somebody that I think we identified as early as last year, somebody that could be an impact player for Middle Tennessee for a very long time on the offensive side. Another player to look out for, Miles Butler, Central Arkansas transfer, really good size on the outside at receiver, somebody that Nick's going to need to get on the same page with for this offense to be as productive as they can be.
Another guy who played against Middle last year that is now wearing blue, who I kind of think we'll see a lot of, is Slade Alexander. He played at Jack State last year, transferred here. The portal giveth and the portal taketh away, and he was one of those that came in, and in their multiple tight end sets. And like you mentioned earlier, those tight ends all have different skill sets and can be used in different ways. Some are better blockers, some are better catching the football.
Slade's somebody that Coach Gans identified as somebody that just loves the physicality of football. Former linebacker. He really loves to get out in space and hit people, and that's something exciting for that tight end room to have, where you have a guy like Holden that's maybe a little bit better receiver that maybe you compare him up with Slade and have some different looks, because Slade's also athletic enough to go out on a route and make a catch as well. He's somebody that joined the team as a walk-on, earned a scholarship, sort of this camp cycle, along with a couple other guys. Trayvon Farrell's a guy that they expect to play a lot at nickel, who was also initial walk-on, and Corey Smith right here from Oakland High School in Murfreesboro, another linebacker that is getting a chance to be on scholarship this year. So exciting to see those guys, get the credit for the work that they've put in. But yeah, Slade's a guy that people need to know, number 41. He's somebody I think will play a lot more than maybe people were expecting early in the spring.
Jeff, one of the things that Coach Mason put out there very early was that he wanted to, recruit from the inside out, from start on campus and recruit Rutherford County, then Middle Tennessee, and then the state, and then he goes basically within a 3.5 hour drive, which means Memphis, Birmingham, Atlanta. They're all still going to be in play, all of those. But I was looking at and don't hold me to these numbers. I was just counting off the top of my head, but I think the numbers are up in all of these categories slightly because you can't do it all at one time. But I counted 39 in-state guys, 24 from Middle Tennessee, the Middle Tennessee area, which includes Nashville and all that, and 9 out of Rutherford County. So they want to continue that, and they did a couple of things on social media this year, what they called their Blitz Days, where they hit 59 high schools within the footprint.
Yeah, I think that was huge. I mean, you definitely want to try and recruit local as much as you can. You're also competing with the Tennessees, Vanderbilts of the world. I mean,
and others who come in here.
Yeah, exactly. Tennessee is a hotbed of high school football and talent, and you got to be able to attract these kids. I think the new facilities have been a huge enticing factor for kids to want to come here, especially, if I come there as a freshman, should hopefully be done by, 2025, 26. Like, I'm going to get to be able to use that. Now, when you've come here in years past, like, nothing had been touched in a decade from when I played. So, some of these high school facilities have been nicer than what we've had. So having the new facilities is huge. Having the excitement with Derek Mason, really pounding that message of going and hitting the local spots. I think we've been able to get some good talent because of those factors.
Yep. Now, if I'm correct, there are 4 new head coaches in Conference USA. Obviously, Jamie Chadwell came in last year at Liberty after Hugh Freeze had been there, and they've built that up. They've got a ton of money behind them. They were the Group of 5 entrant into the New Year's 6 bowl game and played in the Fiesta Bowl. This is the new year, the first year of the 12-team playoff. Group of 5 conferences, and we're talking about Conference USA, the Sun Belt, the MAC, the Mountain West, and
the American.
The American, that's right. And so the best team out of those 5 conferences has an automatic into the playoffs this year. Will it be Liberty? Will it be potentially another Blue Raider opponent, the Memphis Tigers? Or is it going to be Boise, who a lot of people are touting? So it's going to be interesting, but Group of 5 now has a seat at the table.
Yeah, and that's what we've wanted all along is, man, there's this false narrative that the Group of 5 can't play with the Power 4 now.
Ask Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Oklahoma State and South Alabama last year.
Yeah.
And that was Oklahoma State was in the Big 12 championship. So, there's
That's
about
Miami.
Yeah, exactly. There's 5 to 8 teams on a given year that physically they're different, but nobody matches up with those teams, and that includes the teams in their own conference. You're telling me Vanderbilt and Arkansas line up just as good as Georgia does? No, they don't. So as far as Conference USA goes, Liberty's obviously the top team. They were undefeated last year. I think playing Oregon and getting beat as bad as they did hurts them a little bit perception-wise, but you got to remember Oregon, our only 2 losses, each by 3 points, were to the runner-up to the national championship. So I don't think anybody was beating Oregon last year. They were really, really good. So a lot of question marks. I mean, Liberty's definitely a top team. Boise's in that conversation. Memphis is going to be loaded. Memphis is really, really good, and I don't think enough people are talking about them, and they're our 5th game on the schedule. So.
Yeah. Now, it's one of those things, okay, how does all of the hype, all of the marketing that's out there, it comes down to what you do on the field. And the other thing, we talked about Derek Mason inheriting a great quarterback. The other thing he inherited is by far the toughest schedule in Conference USA. I mean, you play Tennessee Tech, which is an old traditional rival, and it is, of course, it's an FBS versus FCS, but it's one that has a little juice to it because of history. And thank goodness Jamie Blatnick has kind of coached up. He's coached up the guys about what the totem pole means and what Harvey means, all of that kind of stuff. But then you go to Ole Miss, who right now people saying they're going to be in the 12-team playoff. Come home for Western Kentucky, who now has T.J. Finley at quarterback. That just continues. Then you've got Duke with our pal Manny Diaz.
It's funny that's on homecoming. Isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's one of the. Homecoming was going to have to be Western or Duke.
Well, I know, but just with Manny and Willie Simmons and the whole crew's coming back.
That's right, and interesting on Jamari Lattimore will be going in the Hall of Fame that weekend, and Manny was his defensive coach when Manny was here. So that's kind of nice. And then you go to Memphis, and so. At the end of September, I mean, it's one of those things where you look at it and, I mean, you go out and you want to try to win every game, but if you can come out of September, if you can come out 2-3 or 3-2, then you can kind of take a breath a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if we, and I'm just being realistic with what we have in the schedule, and this is no different. Our schedule is set up like it's front-loaded. Mm-hmm. It seems like for the past decade we're playing.
I think Wisconsin's on it next year.
Yeah,
so.
It's just
opened with Alabama last year,
and we had Missouri, which was a top 15 team when it was all said and done. And last year, I mean, most of our losses were within 7 points. That's what's crazy.
5 losses within a touchdown.
Yeah, so it's like you look at how close those games were last year. If we can get through that first 5-game stretch healthy, to as best as we can, then our schedule opens up very nice in the back end. Like a couple years ago, we went down and beat Miami. We opened up. After that was UTSA, the number 1 team in our conference, and we had maybe a quarter of the stadium full. So I'm just telling the listeners, despite what our record may be after 5 games, I hope we go 5-0. Whatever it is, show up, because conference is what matters. That's going to be the biggest thing, and we need Floyd Stadium packed. Every game, not just when Ole Miss, not just when Duke comes in, not just when Western for 100 miles of hate. Every week we need that stadium full.
Yeah, kind of. You want to kind of pull the rock here. Go. It doesn't matter who we play.
Exactly. It doesn't.
Be there for our guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
be there for the kids, man.
But I'm telling you, September is loaded for fun home games. Though, when you talk about your family coming out, I mean your boys and I mean you got Tech coming in, which will be fun.
Yeah.
And you feel like Middle should have an advantage there. Then you've got Western 2 weeks later, and then a week after that you've got a great homecoming opponent in Duke, who came in here a few years ago, and David Cutcliffe did a great job of game planning that night, and they jumped out 14-0 and really put Middle in a box that night. But different. Duke probably lost as many guys through the portal as anybody when they went through their coaching change when Mike Elko left to go to Duke. So this first couple of weeks, you really don't know it's hard to predict. And ask Florida State, how hard was it? Because they were everybody was picking them to cover against Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech came out and hit them in the mouth, and I think you're going to see a physical Middle team that has gone through more contact in fall camp than in recent years, and the players that I've talked to, they said they've liked that, and Coach Mason wanted to be prepared. He's taken the mentality of, I want to practice so hard that the games become easy.
Yeah, I love that mentality, and I think probably our biggest acquisition in the offseason, in my opinion, was strength and conditioning coach Jamie Blatnick.
If you haven't seen this guy, well, number one, he's a doppelganger for the New Mexico State mascot.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he's an absolute unit. I mean, if you just look at him, you can tell.
A unit.
To me, it makes a difference when a guy looks the part and he can do everything. Your players believe in the system that much more. And when you talk to this guy on his philosophy, it's different from a lot of other strength and conditioning coaches around the country, and I really like it. And when you're talking about building a culture as well, there's nobody that's around the players more than the strength coach. So they take on that mentality, that work ethic, and I think he's done a great job. And we've been banged up the last couple of years, and I'm excited to see if our health, if we're better off after that 5-game stretch than we've been in years past, because that's going to be huge for us.
Well, Sam did a podcast with Jamie, and you can find that as part of the podcast series he did this summer. And it's not all what he does. I mean, let's say they have the guys 4 days a week. There's 2 days where they're maxing out and building strength. But the other 2 days they call dynamic days. It's all about flexibility and speed and I mean they're doing these box jumps, 60 inches, close to 70 inches. And Jamie Blatnick he's got
he'll
videos.
Get up there and do it.
I know I haven't seen a drill yet involving what they're doing that he has not done it first and done the example. But it will be interesting to see from a speed and strength standpoint how this team is, and I think you're going to see positive results in that.
Well, one thing Derek Mason, mentioned about this team that he really likes is that there's no bad bodies on the team, and that's a really big credit to sort of Jamie's work that they've done in the weight room and the players' work for buying into that system. I mean, if you talk, off the record sometimes about the gains that some of these guys have made and their strength and what they're maxing out in, and even just what their weight is going to be listed as, this fall, like it's kind of shocking how 25, 30-pound gains in a single off season that he's able to pull out of these guys. And we're seeing a lot on the basketball side too with some of the strength coaches he's brought in for those programs as well. So it's been a whole revolution on that side of things, and they're doing it in a dance studio weight room that they've got until the SAPC is built. So even more impressive.
Yeah, and that's one thing to Jamie's credit too. He has not complained about anything that they don't have yet. He is just telling them, hey, get excited about what we do have, and you've got 12 opportunities to go play games, and that's I hear coaches talk about that all the time. And the first opportunity is Saturday. We don't know a whole lot about Tennessee Tech except they do have three. You got a new coaching staff. Bobby Wilder will get them better. He was at Old Dominion, and when they beat Virginia Tech a few years ago, and the quarterback that went to the Commanders was with him. Taylor Heineke was up there. But he gets a good quarterback that returned at Tech and 3 all-conference players on defense. So they will be scrappy. Middle should have the better roster coming in, and but you can't take any of that lightly because we're going to be on the exact opposite end of that the following week.
Yeah, I mean, these games when you're playing an FCS opponent, you should go out and dominate. Now, it might not always be pretty. You're going to make mistakes, but you should go out and physically dominate the team in front of you. And I think that's what's going to happen.
And see, next week, all the SEC folks are going to say the exact same thing about Middle 100%. Coming in. So, you can't take anything lightly, no matter which side of it you're on.
No, and the best thing you can do is you got to go about it as we're our own biggest enemy. We got to make sure we play sound football, play clean football as much as we can, and the scoreboard will take care of itself.
All right. Sammy, thanks so much for coming in. Jeff, thanks for coming in. Go
Appreciate
sling some sandwiches.
Going to.
Happy birthday to Monty Hale today. Want to get that out there. And also a reminder, 2:30 on Saturday, the Party in the Grove gets underway out in Walnut Grove. 3:45 is the Raider Walk. And then the headline act out in the Walnut Grove gets underway just after 4 o'clock, and at 5:15, it's the Follow Me to Floyd Parade. Kickoff at 6 o'clock. Be there for the Band of Blue. Head band coach Craig Cornish has quite a halftime show set up, so you want to be there when they take the field 20 minutes prior to kickoff. Brian Barrett standing by on this hot, hot day. Keep yourself cool, stay hydrated, and we'll see you at the stadium on Saturday.